Hello, guys. Welcome to another episode of the podcast. My name is Safo, and today we are en route to going to watch the Black Stars. So that's a different matter for another time. But let's talk about the African performances we've had so far, from Cape Verde to Algeria to Senegal to Egypt to an extent. The games we've watched in the past 24 hours. Let's start with the recent match that ended between Algeria and Argentina. So, in past episodes, I have always spoken about how Algeria are like that one team that put up a fight. I think for the very first 20 or so minutes of that game, they put up a very good fight in the game. But we can credit the intelligence and brilliance of Messi for the goals he scored and how impactful he was in the game. But if I'm an Algerian, I'll be fuming with that atrocious performance from Lucas Zidane. Like, I would be fuming in a week in which you have Cape Verde's goalkeeper being outstanding. You have such woeful goalkeeping, and it's not just Lucas Zidane. I'm talking about you too, Edouard Mendy. Horrible goalkeeping all around. So, because two of those goals, the very first goal, I don't see why that goal should beat you. It's not like Messi put it to the extreme right or put it to the extreme left. The ball was still central. You could have still done something about it. I don't know how he wanted to save the ball, but that was on him. The second goal, as a goalkeeper, when you are punching to safety. How do you punch that ball straight into traffic? Like, I don't get it. It didn't take a deflection, it was straight at you. Ridiculous. And this is a game in which tiny details could have gone for Algeria, because that Messi challenge was a red card. I am sorry, and I tweeted this. If swap Messi for Vincent Abubakar dripping with sweat, and it's not malicious, but let's nobody lie to you that red cards are supposed to be malicious. Red cards are not supposed to be malicious. There was no malice in what Messi did, but that was a clearly dangerous tackle. You see, you can be a Messi fan and admit to these things. That was a clearly dangerous tackle. He was brilliant today, getting his first career hat-trick. Absolutely on point, and we will talk about things from his perspective, but I'm looking at this from an Algerian perspective, and I'll be gutted. The third goal, I would not really blame Lucas Zidane. He could have done better. It was a long reach strike. He could have done better, but how many times or how often have we seen Messi do that over and over and over again? For that, you put it on the sheer brilliance of Messi, but Messi was brilliant, absolutely brilliant and phenomenal. And I didn't mean by first career hat-trick, first hat-trick at a World Cup. He was absolutely phenomenal. And sometimes you just got to admire at that age the ability to move, and it seems like the Argentinians or the Argentines understand him and how he plays. He really dictates the tempo and everything of the game, and then they are able to check or right their wrongs they made in the past World Cup by not winning their affairs. So this is going to be interesting, and on an Algerian perspective, all I would say is that it's far from over, because unlike, say, the Tunisia case, which is an incredibly difficult group, this group is very manageable. You've got Austria and Jordan to contend with, which bar Austria, which will be a bit cagey, but I don't think Algeria would have the Austria is a team that is beyond Algeria's strength. Austria is really struggling with Jordan right now as we are speaking. So that's something that can be taken care of. The second African team we would want to deal with is Senegal. And, with Senegal, I'll basically see this. Whatever they went through today, I don't know what Pape Thiaw has seen, but Pape Thiaw had a formula he used at AFCON which worked. In fact, they won the AFCON, depending on what side of the coin you are on. They won the AFCON where you start players like Eleman Ndiaye. I know Jackson, I get the point why Senegal would want to start Jackson, because he runs into spaces, is a focal point. But like someone tweeted today, Jackson was born offside. So he's going to do all this work, but he will never finish it for you. Put in Dieng. Play a false nine with Eleman Ndiaye. In the first, I don't see why Sarr starts. because Sa never started during the AFCON. Mbaye has shown time and time over again to be talented. Even if you are going to play Jackson, I don't think Jackson and Sa should start, because you look at the chances Sa was missing. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. For the very first half, a friend tweeted that African football has arrived because they were able to go toe-to-toe with France. And it was also down to the fact that France were not clinical. France was moving. Mbappe's touches were not good in that first half. So in that first half, you have like two of the best chances. Albeit I don't see the first chance as a chance, because I don't know how the ball is beating Magnan on his first post, and Magnan was lucky that the ricochet didn't go back into the net. But then the third chance, for the life of me, I can't understand how he blows that ball over the net. And that's the thing, you when you're playing with a team that has the star quality, a team that can afford to bring on Sheck in the 80th minute, like it's just child's play, or bring on Bradley Barcola, child's play. You kill them when you have the opportunity. And Senegal did not do that. I mean, when Mbaye came on, Mbaye showed everyone why he's brilliant. The skill he possesses. And for the life of me, that's why I could not understand why he didn't start Mbaye. But Mbaye proved that immediately he came on. And so I think Papthia would have to get his homework done, but then you put yourself in an incredible difficult situation, because that is also a very tricky and cagey group with the likes of Norway, who just patched off Iraq by 4-1. Making a bold statement, you put yourself in such a difficult position. So that is it for Senegal. I was not impressed, especially in the second half. They could barely trouble France going forward. And that was a worrying sight for me to see. They are considered as one of Africa's best, and one of Africa's best does not put up this performance. They put themselves in an incredible situation, but again, I still believe they still have like a good chance of qualifying, looking at their group and then the efforts they'll put in. And the last African team I would want to touch on, or maybe last but one, maybe I'll touch on it. Let me touch on Egypt. Egypt were good. They attacked Belgium. They did not cower. I thought they would. My only problem was they were defending, but Egypt, while in defense, still didn't have the numbers. And that's something I didn't think about. I didn't know if they were applying a mid-block or a low block or whatever it is they were. But I think they've been one of the impressive African sides so far, and that's something you rarely see for Egypt at a World Cup. But then it's like what I'm going to see when I end, the conclusion I'm going to draw with the Cape Verdean game is that, and it applies to Egypt, is that these are the very first games. You should not rest on your laurels. Anything can happen. We've seen situations whereby Saudi Arabia starts their campaign by beating Argentina and then still does not qualify because they lose to Poland and Mexico. So there's no need to rest on your laurels if you're an African team in this tournament. And back to Cape Verde. I see Rodri out there complaining about Cape Verde was defending Cape Verde. What did you want Cape Verde to do? You are an European champion. You've been world champion before. You've won the Euros back to back. You are touted as one of the favorites to win this World Cup, and you want a team that just had its debut to open up. Jack. And you see, blame is on you for not having the ability to open them up, because they start. Your job was to open them up. You failed to open them up. There shouldn't be no woes or cry. And that was a very brilliant performance put up by the Cape Verdean goalkeeper. And when he was shedding tears, I found it very ironic that people could not sympathize. And when I say people, there are some right-wing crazed people who couldn't sympathize with the fact that, and it's not just the Cape Verde, it's not only the Cape Verdean goalkeeper who's complaining of this, or did not have the ability to bring his family or his mom to come watch him play. But Senegal are missing out on many of their fans. You look at Cote d'Ivoire. When you watch Cote d'Ivoire, Ecuador, it's like you can't even hear the Ivorians. It's incredibly difficult for most African teams I have seen, and having the ability to have their fans over there. Tomorrow, or wherever you're watching it might be today. It's actually going to be tomorrow for me because I'm still connecting between flights to get to Toronto. I'm sure it's going to be different tomorrow because, again, Toronto is an Anglophone place. You have a lot of Ghanaians, you have a lot of Nigerians who might actually show up to support Ghana. So, but these are like the incredibly difficult situation African teams and African fans are facing, and it was sad that people could not even relate with him and how when it comes to this part of immigration part of the World Cup, it's been in shambles. For Cape Verde, they stand a good chance. They really, really stand a good chance. They've put themselves in a very nice position against Saudi Arabia and Uruguay. All they need right now is just to get a win. No matter, just get a win or even find a draw. It's something. But then they've put themselves in a very good place, and no matter what, they should be very proud of themselves. So the other African teams left are Congo, Ghana. Well, like in the words of Nicholas Jackson, we are killing ourselves for Africa. So the ball is in your court, and my name is Safo. Thank you for watching the podcast. Share, like, subscribe. Don't forget to share, like, subscribe is very important. And let me know your thoughts and comment on the African performances so far at the World Cup. Bye.